Hello, if you're like me and you're self-isolating, and I hope you are, you've got time on your hands. So you're looking for things to do. Well, here's something I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to plant these 4 potatoes in these 4 black buckets. It's a bit earlier than usual for me, but I've got time on my hands and I've got lots of these buckets, but we'll just do 4 today because we can do some more tomorrow and some more the next day and some more the next day. And it's not a race, is it? No, it's not. Now I've also got some of these. These are my fast start potatoes. Now I'm not going to plant these just yet because the root system isn't big enough for me to be able to turn this out with any confidence and that root system stay intact. So we're going to leave the fast starts where they are for the moment in the yogurt pots, and we're going to go with these chitted potatoes. Now these potatoes are all store-bought potatoes. They're all shop-bought potatoes, set-aside potatoes. These buckets have overwintered on a rack covered with a layer of chop and drop. By now you must be sick of hearing that if you're a follower of mine, but that's how we do it here at Homegrown Veg. Okay, so this chop and drop was put on the top of these buckets 6 months ago, and when it was put on there it was level with the top of the bucket. So I hope you can see how far this has actually rotted down and gone into the bucket. This is a potato called Jazzy. This is a potato called Jemson. This is a potato called Maris Piper. And this is a potato called Elfie. So we're going with 4 different varieties of potato. Now I'll tell you what we're going to do when we go outdoors, and then I'll stop talking. I'll do what I say we're going to do, and I'll play some nice music, and hopefully this won't take too long. Okay, so we'll just take Jemson off the top of this bucket for the time being. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this layer of chop and drop off the top like that. That's the soil you're looking at now. We're going to put this to one side. We're going to empty that soil out, and we're going to incorporate some fertilizer into there. We're going to incorporate some Grow More into that soil, which is a 777 fertilizer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix all of this soil up in a barrel, add the fertilizer, give it a good all mix. Then we're going to put 2 inch back in each of these buckets, and then we're going to sit the seed potato on that 2 inch. Then we're going to top it off with what soil there is left, and on top of that we're going to put this chop and drop again. Now what I'm hoping is this. Let me just put Jemson back on his bucket. What I'm hoping is that this layer of chop and drop will give a degree of frost protection to the chits as they break the surface. Okay, it's early in the year yet, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get some more frosts. So ideally I don't want these to get frosted, but luckily I got some of these given this week. This is a see-through plastic bucket, and I got a good suggestion sent to me, and I'm going to incorporate that as part of this. What I'm going to do is, once the potatoes in there, once it's covered with soil, once it's got the chop and drop back on it, I'm going to pop this on top like that and clip it on. Hey, how good is that? I hope you can see that. If you can't see it now, you'll certainly see it when we get outside. I'm just going to clip that on top of there like that. So what's going to happen now is that these pots, because they're black, they can get quite hot, on a hot day in strong sunshine. But it's not that hot today, and the sunshine certainly isn't strong. It's too early in the year. So these black pots might get warm. Warm is good, hot is bad for potatoes. So we'd like it to be warmish, but not too hot. So once we get some warmth into this soil, we'd really like to keep it there, wouldn't we? Well, this chop and drop is going to help to do that. That's going to try and keep the heat below it. And so is this see-through bucket when it's clipped on. So we're going to try and keep the soil warmer through this early part of the year. Obviously, as the potato gets bigger, this will have to come off, but by then the chances of frost should have disappeared. And the other thing I like about using this as a clotch is that in this early part of the year here in the UK, we're likely to get quite a bit of spring rain. We usually do. And these pots could become waterlogged if we can't control what water's going in them. But when we put this on, we can control the water, can't we? If we want the rain to go in, we take it off. If we don't want the rain to go in, we put it back on. If there's been no rain for quite some time, we take it off and we water the bucket. Hey, how good is that? How good is that? Right, come on, let's go outside. Let's plant these 4 potatoes.